Good afternoon. Welcome to Real Talk Eastern Shore. This is Ron, of course, your host with the most. I guess you can kind of say, well, a lot of weight, of course. And my co host,
This is John, and you know what? You made that rhyme real good.
well, I think I got that off something. So, copyright, I could get in trouble for, but I don't think it's copyright or trademarked. But I'm hoping not because I don't think our legion of fans, which, the Ron and John Nation is really like gonna even understand, or maybe they will understand. And they're smarter than I am, so I mean, it could go either way, So that's a good thing. We're here, episode 10. We're really blessed where we're at now. 10 episodes in. Did not think we would make it that far. I mean, we told you a lot of times, we're gonna keep on making episodes and stuff like that. But I mean, with all the stuff that goes on in our lives, weekly, daily, by minute, by second, like there's a lot of things going on. It's not just hey, we got a podcast. I mean, we work regular jobs, families take care of, a whole bunch of things going around. You got to take care of the house. You got to cut the grass. You got to make sure everything is right. If it's not right, you still, I mean, it's so much. You know what I mean? It's so much on you. So how was your week?
My week was good, actually. Just worked a lot. But before we get started, I just want to apologize to our listeners because last week we did promise them something special this week, and unfortunately, the vendor we were talking to.
Was an epic fail. But it's
Yeah.
okay. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Um, Everything comes at a price. Failure, you will only succeed in the end if you keep on pushing, and that's what we're going to do. Not mad about it. I get it. It's more on our side, our fault. Kind of like we should have maybe been a little bit more, I guess you say, proactive. But at the end of the day, this is how we learn. This we make mistakes and then we learn from there. The good thing is though, it looks like that next week we have a date. Not me and you together, but
Oh,
we
shit.
might be. Listen, I'm only going to whine you. Maybe I'm not going to give you a dime, but I might whine you a little bit. But I mean, it sounds like we were invited to come out in the evening. You know,
Oh, okay. You're talking about
which well,
Friday.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk about that more. But I mean, is it Friday? Maybe it's Saturday. I don't know. But
Yeah, sometime.
very something like that. Like,
It's next
but
weekend.
whatever it is, at least we know like there is an invite.
Hmm.
I think it might be prudent that we do go to it and do what we do best.
Hmm.
You be quiet and me just be outlandish. One or the other.
Sounds about right.
Exactly. But definitely, we're kind of excited about the situation. The fact that we can go out there and actually see people we haven't seen in a long time. Not sure how many, but some people go out there and represent our little podcast and you know help them out as well. You say hello. Maybe grab a drink or so and just give them a good great day. But I mean great night. I apologize.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe they'll get you on the ones and twos for a little
No,
bit.
I'm good. I don't want to be on the ones
Well,
and
hold
twos.
on. I mean, listen. It wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly. And this is why I'm saying this. So just hear me out. You know, you are good at DJing, and you haven't done it in like 16 million years. And my thought is like, if you're wearing our new approved Ron and John podcast T-shirt out there, you're in front of everybody. That's right. We have merchandise. We're slowly going to go through that as time progresses through the weeks. But we finally got 6 shirts made, which is not a lot, I know. But this is where the start happens. You start from the bottom, just like they say, and then you go to the top slowly but surely. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and that's the biggest thing here. But going back, so how was your week anyway?
Well, okay. So going back to that, uh, I actually tried to cut some vices out of my life this week.
Vices.
Vices, it, before this week, I was constantly getting 2 breakfast sandwiches from a fast food place and a large Coke every morning. Every morning.
We talked about that. We talked about mine last
Last
week.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this time, I've been doing it for years on my way to work. This last week, I weighed myself. I'm like
Mhm.
252.
Wow.
Damn. So I decided cut out the breakfast sandwiches, and that's hard in itself because with the app for this particular place, you get one for free. You get
Oh
one buy
yeah.
one get one free.
Is
So
that McDonald's?
I wasn't trying to plug them, but yes.
Okay. Oh, how about the Golden Arches? How about that? We'll
Yeah,
go with that.
well, it's
Okay.
too late now.
Yeah. So
But yeah, with the app, you can get a free breakfast sandwich with a purchase of one.
nice.
Come on, McDonald's,
Win, win,
sponsor.
win, 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 win.
So I tried to cut that out until yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm really hungry.
So how long did that last so far? Are we looking at?
On the fifth day, I broke.
So the fifth day, your what is it called? Willpower shut down.
Yeah,
on you.
it just shut down.
Just straight up said, "F you, John. You are going to do this. There's no other way."
Mm-hmm.
Now my question is, did you have to go out of the way to go get those?
No,
Did you? So when you were driving, so the location you got these at were in Easton.
no, didn't.
Then, so when you,
Because
So
I
when
leave
you-
my house and go on 404, that or the McDonald's is right there.
but you still had to go out your way. You had to
Not
make a
much.
left. You had to go on a exit, make a left, go down, make a right into the parking lot, go down past 7-Eleven, go around the corner. Do you go through drive-through?
Yeah.
So you had to go around the back of the building, go around to the front of the building, get your sandwiches, go back out, make a right, go out to the stop sign, make a left, and make another left. Correct.
Yeah.
So you technically did go out of your way.
Yeah, but it was so delicious.
Well, I mean,
Which it
It's-
was
it's-
is not good.
well, hold on. I believe that in breakfast time, you deserve to have a good meal in breakfast. If you don't have any good meal any time, like trust me, I am a big supporter of Mr. IHOP. In my opinion, like I'll eat breakfast and lunch and dinner. I don't give a shit. Like I'll have pancakes, I'll have eggs, I'll have
No,
whatever.
I didn't say I wasn't having breakfast.
But
I
what
just
you
said I
have-
wouldn't buy it from
Yeah,
McDonald's because that's
what else you gonna buy? Well, you could have got Burger King.
no. I started to get something from the where I work at in their
Mhm.
cafeteria.
Yeah.
But then they cook it in the grill that they cook everything else in, and
Yeah.
you have that taste.
The taste from the
of
other stuff.
everything
Yeah.
else, and it just that's why it broke down.
Yeah, but sometimes every once in a while, man, that little bit of taste extra kind of
It
tastes
wasn't-
better.
It was disgusting.
tasted like ass.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
Well, I don't know. I never tasted.
yeah, I was about to say, I better not throw that out there because then there'll be a lot. You know what? I will throw that out there. At the end of the day, like we will leave it at that. Okay.
Crickets.
So
crickets,
yes,
crickets.
very much crickets there because I do not want to throw my business out there, but it's okay. This is what we do. Well, this week it was kind of. I mean, anything else besides that? I mean, you broke down on the fifth day, so we're gonna write that down as a fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you're gonna try it again?
I'll try it again, but I'm gonna log it.
Log it. Okay.
Maybe even blog it or vlog it.
Log it. Mark
way,
it.
That way, it's not
Target?
Just me. Target. What?
Well, I'm just
Which
trying to
is-
rhyme with it. I thought I was
Oh.
going pretty well with it. No, hold on. That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
That's the
What in
big
the world are you
bullseye.
talking about?
Dude, man, I am on a trip right now. I'm good.
Well, you got to stop taking that stuff.
It's good. It's good for the health. It's good for the body. You know what I mean? It makes you. Sometimes in life, it's not about what you take. It's just how you feel. And man, I am feeling myself well. Maybe that didn't come out right, but I'm okay with that because I am sitting here. I am alive. I'm breathing. I can sit here and talk.
Mhm.
I can conversate. I can talk to anybody, and I ain't got to worry about nothing because you know what? I enjoy myself, and I am me. And you know what? I am somebody in my own mind.
Mhm.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. But I am kind of curious about this. When you started coming to the bar back in the time, which was, 10 years ago? 7 years ago, probably? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, how much you weigh then?
200.
Jesus! So you're gaining on an average about 7 pounds per year is what you're looking at.
Sure.
Almost a pound a month.
Yeah.
Hashtag dad bod.
Hashtag dad bod. Oh, yeah.
You know, wow. So we have another dad bod. I've had a dad bod since I was like 13. So it's okay. Like, I've always been fat. I'm cool with it, and I mean, it is what it is, but when you're big all your life, when you're a kid, you see everyone running, and you're never going to be as fast as most
Hmm.
of them. So you're always in the behind of the line, or hey, recess, get in line. You're always back of the line unless you got them slackers. And when you're playing football or basketball or whatever, you're never going to be the quickest. Um, so like being where I'm at now at I think it was 271. I weighed myself last week. I think it was 271. I think it was 271.2. Whatever it is. You know, it's like saying my child is like 36 months. You know what I mean? But um it was it's I didn't think I would be down where I'm at now. I always thought I'd be like 300, 320.
Because
My
that's what you used to be
I
long
was
before we
320.
started the podcast.
Well,
That's what.
yeah. Well, when I started bouncing, I was only 240,
Mm.
and I was playing slow pitch softball, and I was active. Like I mean, literally, I remember going to a tournament in Ocean City, Maryland, be done at 7:30, 8 o'clock there, and ride from Ocean City to Ridgely to make my measly $10 an hour, and then go to sleep at like 4 o'clock, and then wake up at 6 and go play on Sunday.
Mm.
Um, so like I was always active. So I was kind of like I gained, I think it was about 20 pounds in like 6 years from there, you know. But I mean, I was kind of fit. Like I could run. I could, I'm not saying I was the fastest, but I could run. I could do whatever. Now, well, after I stopped, I gained a lot of weight because I wasn't doing anything. I was just working, busting my ass every day. 6 a.m., 11 p.m., 6 a.m., 5 days a week. And then you figure on Friday, I somehow would make it out of there by 10 o'clock, go to bouncing Friday, be done in like 3 or 4, get home at 5, maybe wake up at like 1, and then do it all over again. But the worst part was waking up at 1, it ruins everything. It messes with your metabolism and everything. So, like Saturday, I would be 7 o'clock, and I'm just like, man, I really don't want to go. I really don't want to go. And then I'd get myself to it, and I would go, knowing that Monday I have to be in at 6:30. I would try to sit there, get out of the bar by 2:45, which was never going to happen when Lucy was there. Never.
No.
That average time was 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'd go home, crash, and wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it just ruined my whole. Like Monday, I'd be dragging so
Hmm.
bad because I'm not going to bed till like 3, 2 on a Sunday would be Monday morning technically, and then I drag my ass to fucking Baltimore and go from there. It really sucked. It really did. Like it took a lot out of me. Like I didn't realize it. But I mean, the good thing was I lost weight. I think a lot of it has to do with I changed eating some. Um, I did walk um, more fluently. I think stress also helped matters, which is not a good thing. But I mean, I'll be honest with it. But I mean, I still have a couple of vices I want to get rid of, but
Hmm.
that's going to take time. Take time, take
Take,
time, take
yeah.
time. My thing come flying out. Like I only know where my accent comes from, but it just flies. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe it's my dialect. Maybe it's that Eastern Shore dialect. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? But, yeah. I mean, so I mean, anything else? I mean, just kind of just.
Well, to relax when I get home from work, I ended up building a computer, or
Mm,
computer rebuilding, or swapping out a case from one to the other. But it was practically rebuilding an old computer.
wow. I
Gaming.
can't. I can't. I can't even rebuild a Lego set, let alone a computer. You
I
know what I
think
mean?
rebuilding a Lego set would be a lot harder.
Well, I
It's
mean,
got
well
more
for you, well,
pieces.
I mean, there's a little certain thing to it that you have to do, which I totally understand. But like, I can't, I can't even rebuild macaroni and cheese if you want to get down to it. Like, I'm not big on that. Like, I don't like to rebuild stuff. I'm not good with my hands. I don't think, But it is. I mean, the good thing though this week though, um, I actually drove to work and come back home. There wasn't much to do.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, well, it is. Well, the problem is I'm working probably 11 hours a day. So
Mm.
like you're invested 55 hours into a company. You're busting your ass. I mean, now granted, there was a little bit of action last night. So like I come outside of the work and I'm standing there. We're not done yet. It's like 7 o'clock and there's cops everywhere, like 3 or 4 cops, and they were looking for somebody. I had no clue what they're looking for. But there's always some. I mean, because where we're located, it's the location, and it's sad because it's a small town of Milford, and you would think there wasn't that much crime, but there must be, because I mean, there's always cops here and there around our area. But I mean, it's not really a bad area. It's an industrial park.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, I know what's behind us, but you would think there's not that many cops back there, or they would even ride back there once in a while, if that. But they were back there all the time. But I mean, it wasn't much that went on. Just kind of everyday life. Getting home, eating, sleeping, shower, repeat, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So, but going ahead, um, we asked a question out there: what did you want to be when you grow up? So we're gonna kick it off to you first. Well,
Oh,
actually,
okay.
no, 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 no. We did have it. We did have a gentleman out there,
Oh, we did.
yeah, that did say what he
Oh.
wanted to be. So take this what it's worth. And the worst part is like, I think it was kind of a joke, but I don't think it was a joke because the guy that did this, and we'll give him a shout out. Would be what would you like to go him under? You think his DJ name, or you think his regular name, or
Let's go with his DJ name just for
so
now.
that would be like my man from Greensboro, Maryland, DJ Big Chris. He said, and he quoted, that he wanted to be a Honda Rican porno star. That's what he was living up to be. Now, when someone gives you that answer, you got to think three things. One, is he being serious? Two, is he being real serious? And three, is he being real serious? So, to me, I can see him wanting to do that. Um, just to give you, a little background about him, um, this gentleman was a big Chris. He was big. He is going through a transform where he's lost several pounds. He's more healthier than what he was, which that's a great thing. But you know, there's options being a porno star. Now, the one thing we should have got into is, did he want to be on the big screen, or did he want to be the stunt cock, or did he want to do male female male? What was he? We should have gotten more details on what he wanted to do. Does he want to be the fluffer? Like I just I mean, we should have asked more. We didn't, because I kind of laughed it off, but then I sat back and thought about it. Do I think he's joking? But I don't think he was, to a point.
Hmm.
Like, I always believe when someone says something, there's some truth to it. You know what I mean? Unless it's a plain out bullshit lie.
Hmm.
But I still think there's some truth to it somewheres. But, I want to give the ups, at least someone was open and honest with us, who they wanted to be. I mean, what do you think about that, John?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure he was joking, but well, every lie comes from a grain of truth.
Correct.
Could he have been messing with us? Probably, but guess we'll never know now.
It don't matter, because that's what he commented. So
Yep.
he got called out on it. Now he has to either say, hey, I was being honest with it, or I was just joking. But were you really joking?
I guess we'll find out next weekend when we see him perform.
Yes. Well,
Not on that screen.
yes, please do not say perform, because I'm thinking, oh boy, this ain't good. Definitely, we'll definitely check him out. He's going that didn't sound right either. Definitely, we'll get into that in a little bit later. But yeah, so I guess we'll get into yours, John. Like, what? I mean, thank you, Big Chris, for your innuendo and your comment. We really appreciate it more than what you think, even though it was a joke. If that's what it was, it gives us something to talk about.
Yeah.
And everything to talk about is worth putting on air. So, but go ahead.
Well, let's see. When I was in 7th grade, for some reason, you know me, I don't like attention. I hate public speaking,
Mm-hmm.
but I was forced. Oh, I was forced. I was yeah forced to take an elective in school. So for some dumbass reason, I picked drama. It's like, ooh, I want to be an actor,
So an actor,
an actor.
an actor, an
Yeah.
actor.
So obviously, I didn't say that. But so I took the class and wasn't in the class a week before I had to switch out because you ended up having to get up on stage and act out.
And it
I mean,
wasn't going to happen.
I can remember things really easily, but
Mm-hmm.
getting up there, I was like,
Crickets.
crickets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah,
no, thank
yeah.
you.
That. There's people out there. I have a friend that went out to Oklahoma,
Hmm.
and when he went out to Oklahoma, he was telling me that this was a while ago that he was on couple low, low budget movies, like things you don't even see. You know,
Mhm.
that's back when BCRs were pretty much out and about, and he was telling me, you get a little bit of pay and that's it. He was like, only, you got to get a portfolio, you get all this stuff you have to get done, and it's still not guarantee anything. I can only imagine how it be in front of people that want you to act a certain way, be a certain person that you're not,
Hmm.
and for some people it's great. That's sometimes they act like it in life. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I couldn't have done that. No, no. I mean, I still run my mouth, but I don't think if I could have probably been an actor. I'd probably be a good salesman. I mean, because I can sell some bullshit.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, literally, like, they say, I could sell, what is it?
Ice to an Eskimo.
Well, yeah, I could do that, or uh, a white gloves to a ketchup packet. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, that's something that you want to do. Was that the only thing you wanted to do?
Well, no. From there, we moved to Myanmar, Burma, and there I saw a Marine guarding the U.S. embassy over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "That's a nice uniform," because he was in his dress blues. I was like, "I want to do that," and I did actually end up doing that.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, you got to do something that you wanted to do. How old were you when that was? Like 13?
When I decided that,
No, when you saw that and said, "I like them blues." You know
oh,
what I mean?
about 13 or
13.
14. Yeah.
I'm good guess. Good guess. That's when that maturity level comes in, pretty much for boys. That happens when they're like two for girls. It seems like because
Yeah.
girls know everything. Um, yeah, that's cool though. I mean, you got to do that. I mean, when you were getting out in the military, did you think you knew what you wanted to do when you got out?
No, I did not know at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I moved over here to the Eastern Shore. I started working security and thought, well, this is it. My life's gonna end working security.
Security, security. Come here, security. I need this guy removed, security. That's pretty much what it was, right?
Thankfully,
So,
it did not.
well, some people have security jobs that are luxury like yours. My security job was not that luxury because I was like, they were like, security. Oh, no, no, they're fighting. And there you go. You know.
We had that a lot,
Well, yeah, but it's
but not with actual people fighting. We had patients.
yeah. So you just subdue them and whatever you got to do. You know what I mean? You got certain rules and regulations you got to go by.
Yeah.
You can't just punch them in the face and just walk on.
No,
You
no.
know what I mean? So I totally get that. I mean, yeah, and that reminds me. So yeah, I was talking to somebody yesterday at my job, and I asked him. I said, "Well, what did you want to be when you grew up?" He said, "Man, I really want to be a police officer when I was young, but you know what? After I deal with them 4 or 5 times, I didn't want to be a police officer at all." I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Man, they harassed me." Oh, it's a black guy,
Mhm.
you know. And I was like, "What do you mean?" So he gave me an instance where he was in a car sitting someplace. It was like kind of private, but he's by himself, just sitting there. Said, seen this car go by 3 times. Like, so I guess he was facing like this lake or pond,
Mhm.
and he's seen this car go by 3 times. He said, "Man, before you know it, man, cop comes up on him, puts the lights on, you know, asks for, license registration." He said, next thing you know, another cop comes up there, you know, and they were pretty much, kind of harassing him a little bit.
Mhm.
And he said, and then the third cop came up, and he said, in his mind, he said, "Man, I just knew I was going to jail. Just no, for nothing." He's
Mhm.
like, "I had nothing." And he told me, he's like, that was a big turnoff for him. You know,
Yeah.
it made him, leery of, who they are. And I was like, well, why don't you still want to be a cop? He was like, well, look, you see that, some of them were crooked. I said, I'm not going to deny that.
Hmm.
Some are crooked. I said, but to change things, you have to be involved with it. You can't change from the outside. You have to change it from within. And he was just like, yeah, true, true. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I was just, just somebody, I just, threw it out there to him, see what they would say. And I agree. I mean, I can understand his point.
Yeah, and that one encounter probably changed his whole view on the police, and he probably could have had way more positive ones had he not stopped thinking
A certain thing,
a
you know?
certain way. Sorry, I'm listening. I hear music in the background.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, and one encounter with no matter who you want to be could change your whole life decision.
Oh, yeah, just one encounter, one situation.
Hmm.
I mean, it just takes a
Like,
split second to
mhm.
change things, like your mental things about stuff, you know. And it's sad to think that, I mean, he's a good guy too. Like, I know him, not know him, but know him from work,
Hmm.
and he's a good guy, man. Like, he don't bother nobody. He just does his thing, man. Nothing like illegal, just does his thing. But getting back to where we were, so I wanted to be
Yeah.
a what's that?
No, I was gonna say let's hear yours.
Okay, so when I was, I would say 9. So, I was in. My father was in the volunteer fire service, so I always liked the idea of being a paid firefighter.
Hmm.
Be a paid firefighter, this and that. Be that guy that wearing no shirt underneath and wearing the bunker pants with the suspenders, and I'm gonna go in a fire, yeah. And then I also want to be a baseball player because I felt I would literally. So we had a tree, and one of the limbs would arc over almost to the ground, but it was to where it was like, I would say, like a little bit lower than the waist. Well, not waist. I mean the chest area. So
Hmm.
it's like right here. Like we're just putting like near the belly button, a little bit above the belly button. So I always always taught swing level. So I'd go out there, swing level, take a bat. It'd be on Tuesday night at like 6 o'clock. I go out there, take a bat, just swing at this thing, level, just level, just level, just keep on. Or I would throw ball against the wall and just take ground balls. And I was like, man, I want to be a baseball player. I want to be a baseball player so bad, so bad, so bad. So as I grew up, I was good, but I wasn't good enough, which is fine. I'm cool with
Right.
that. I can accept that. I should have probably put more practice in, and plus my weight was an issue. Instead of being completely built up, I was built out.
Hmm.
So, I mean, but the fire company thing was still a dream. I could do this, I could do that. But when I started getting into it and reading more into it, it was just more about, because in Delaware there wasn't really no paid services. Like your EMTs and stuff really wasn't getting paid at all. So like at that point in Juncture, the only thing, I mean, I don't even think we had paramedics back then. So when I first got in there, and it was just, I guess, disheartening. I didn't know where to go, where to start. So I kind of just went with it. I was just like, matter of fact, you know what? Let me rephrase it. I think Wilmington Fire was paid. That's the only one I can think of. That's in the city of Wilmington. So I kind of was just like, like, oh well, it is what it is. So like I'll say, it was disheartening. I didn't know which way to go, which way to turn. But like at the end of the day, I did do it voluntarily, which I got to commend them people because they do so much out there.
Yeah.
Like they literally are asleep, in their dead sleep. They wake up and run into the night. You don't, like, literally. I remember. So story. 17 years. I was 17 years. I mean, 17-year old. So back then, I want to say I had a car. I didn't have a car. So my friend Tommy, which lived around the corner, which was only like a tenth of a mile, if we had a fire, I would run to the corner of the street. He would pick me up because he lives on the street next, and we'd run to the firehouse. A lot of times I'd jump in the back of the truck. So like we're going like 50 miles an hour trying to get to the firehouse. I'm holding on for dear life. So like I'll never forget. It was really cold this one night. I want to say it might have been 20 degrees. It was like ice and all that. So we had a fire alarm. I want to say, don't quote me on this. It might have. It was so. I want to say an accident, perhaps, or maybe it was a fire. So alarm goes off. 2:15, 2:30 in the morning. I get up. I'm wearing t-shirt, shorts. I'll throw some sweatpants on real quick. Put my shoes on. Run as fast as I can. Get to the corner. Good enough. He waited for me for about 20 seconds. I jump in the back. Get in. We ride down there. We get in the firehouse. So there's me, this guy Tommy, and I can't remember exactly who it was. Well, Mike, this guy named Mike Murray, God rest his soul. Um, he lived down on the highway, which where he lived was probably 3/10 of a mile. But he would run from there and get to the firehouse and make the first truck, literally. I remember it was real cold. He come for some reason the big bay door for one of the fire trucks was up, which when they had the bunker gear, it was at the first door that would be up for some reason. Because I guess that's the first door we come in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got like your side door, like a regular door, and then you have a bay door. And the bay door was up, and I remember him coming in, literally, t-shirt, boxers, and I don't even think he had socks on. Like, and it's 20 degrees. Like rolling, like he's just rolling as fast as he could, gets in there, almost falls, and like I was like, what the fuck? And we had just pretty much had our first crew of women that were they were firefighters, but they were just kind of new.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like two of them, and man, they caused a big stink about it because he was wearing boxers. They were not happy about it, and I'm thinking to myself, my man woke up in the middle of, whatever. And when you live where I live, there was nothing to do. Like, that was the thing to do. You joined the fire department so you could do something. Make yourself have fun or whatever. Because we all would, hang out late at night sometimes, play pool or, you know what I mean? But, that was the thing. And I remember it was a big stink. But, man, that, I can't imagine, going out there. It was that cold and running from where he was, because I couldn't have done it. I'd have been done, you know. But hindsight's 2020. When you're young, you don't feel cold that much. I've noticed as I get older, the colder I'm getting. Because back at the time, 20 degrees, I'm like t-shirt and shorts. Now it's like 50. I'm like, whew, I need a hoodie. You know what I mean? Like quickly. So I mean, I guess that's the sign of oldness. But I mean, at the end of the day, with the fire service, like I said, they do so much. Now they get paid, the EMTs.
Mm-hmm.
Some crews, I think, get paid. I'm not sure exactly in Delaware. But it's just, back then it wasn't like that. You did it because you wanted to.
Right.
That was your service pretty much. You went out there, fire, I seen people, get ran over. I've seen people, stuff like that, and it wasn't like good sights. I don't recommend that, but I do recommend that because the volunteer fire service is so down on people. If people want to volunteer or want to know what's going on, see, that's another thing. See, this is why my ADHD sucks. So that's another thing that burns me up. You know what grinds my gears? We're going to do a Peter Griffin for a second. You know what grinds my gears? Someone sitting there and they go, okay. Someone sits there on Facebook or message you or message somebody. What happened down the road on the left? I've seen all the fire trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? If you're worried about what's going on, since you're so nosy, take your ass out there and help them. Why don't you go get the training they got?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go help them, do medical, or you do like the fire service, either or. Because anymore, most, I would say, they used to be called fire companies, but they're combination companies now because most of it's medical and fire. Why don't they just go help? Or they can just sit there and, because these guys go out 3-4 hours at a time in the cold or in the heat, find out, help out the auxiliary, give them, hey, give you a little time, they wake up at 3 in the morning, they go on a fire at 6 in the morning. Why can't they have, the auxiliary take care of them, give them eggs or some food in the morning? Because you know what? they still got to go to work. They still got a job to go to. That volunteer service is just what it is. You do it when you want. And it makes it very difficult for any volunteer service because the volunteer service is down now. It's not, a lot of people, a lot of the youngers don't want to do it. They don't see the benefit of volunteering their time. And that's something that I wish that somehow, like just this state alone, Delaware, or the Eastern Shore period, because a lot of places the Eastern Shore is not paid still. Um, People would volunteer their services to it. But there's a lot of things that people volunteer to as well.
Hmm.
So I mean, I get it, but if you don't have no firefighters, that means house, burned down, or someone's, don't do medical. That could be a difference between 1 second of life. There's just so much to it. So, but I anything on that one?
No, I mean, I'm not, I'm not, I haven't been part of the fire department, so I couldn't tell you how it's changed over the years. Because
Hmm.
don't really have a say in it. Like you
Yeah,
say, I'm not a firefighter or volunteer. Don't really have a say.
I understand.
However, for the nosy people, just download an app instead
Well,
of asking Facebook.
well, you know what? I agree with that, but I still feel they want more
If they want more
information.
information, yeah.
They want, go out there and help them. There's little things they can do. There's so much things. Like, I mean, there's, back in the time there was women that would wake up like, and don't get me wrong. Back in the time, it's different than what it is now. But they would go and they were older. They would already retire or something, and they would go out and say the fire service was out there for 3 4 hours dealing with a house fire or whatever. They would go and make sure that the firefighters were fed.
Hmm.
Because waking up at 2 in the morning, running, going to a fire, and getting done at 5:30, and you've asserted yourself very, very hard. Because I can tell you right now, them hoses, holding on to them hoses the way you're supposed to, it's a lot of weight on you. Like people don't realize, like you got a garden hose, you're like, oh, this is cheap. Man, you're
Oh
talking
no.
about some of them like a 90, was it 90 psi per square inch? So I don't know how. I think that might be like weight per se, but I mean the thing is, like, imagine that flowing through your hands, and you got someone moving you as well, or you're moving it to get the fire knocked out. It's a lot on your upper body and your lower body,
Hmm.
and especially you wake up 2 in the morning, like you already got cotton mouth, you got booty breath, I guess you can kind of say, and yeah, it was rough, man. Phew, God rest all that, and they're blessed what they do. But yeah, that was my dreams. You know what I mean? And I started off my job. My first job was Arby's in Harrington. It
Hmm.
just opened. I'll never forget that. That was one of the best jobs of my life. I was so happy about it. I was like I was making money. I thought I was making like kingpin money. I was making like peasant money. You know what I mean? So
Well, at that age, ooh, that's a lot of money.
oh yeah, you're 16. That's back in '94.
Yeah, back
You
then you
know.
didn't have all that crap to spend it on.
hmm I didn't worry about making my yard look like the best Halloween yard in the world, or I didn't sit there and go, oh well, you know what? I might do a podcast. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't even a thought. I mean, none of that was a thought. Actually, it was funny because yesterday, me and this woman, Linda, she works with me in the office, and we were talking about texting. We were talking about, we remember when texting was like 10 cents a text. Like, that is so scary to think about. Can you imagine how many texts you do a week, let alone a month, and how much it would cost?
Hmm.
Like, I figured I did 1,136 texts last month. Now, that'd be like $113 and like 60 cents, I think, I believe, if they did it 10 cents a text.
Hmm.
It's amazing, like just where it was back in the time. Because back then it was flip phones,
Yeah,
Had to,
T9
you know,
texting.
T9 texting, or you'd be like ABC, ABC. You know what I mean? Like you always had to click it a couple times. But I mean, definitely, that's where we are. We
Yeah.
were talking about that. As you see, ADHD is ruling the world today. You know what I mean? I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I
Well,
apologize.
ADHD is part of this podcast.
Well, it
It's bound
is.
to come back
You know.
often.
Oh, definitely, and it does can be very I guess you say interesting
Yeah.
because it goes from one extreme to another.
And speaking of podcasts, I know we talked about doing a podcast years ago,
Yeah.
and even last year, if you told me to listen to a podcast, I wouldn't have.
No.
I would not have. I'm like, I listen to music on the radio. When I go to the gym, I want to listen to music.
Hmm.
6 months ago, I started listening to a podcast. I haven't listened to music on the radio or the gym since I started listening to podcasts.
Well, the biggest reason why, in my opinion, that music has gone down by the wayside as being like older, is the fact that when you get on, say, you got 3 radio stations that you listen to on an average. I think it's 5. That's why they got top 5 on your radio station things on your car radio.
Hmm.
So I think my opinion is sometimes all the radio stations sounds the same, and it's the same music, the same stuff, and like some of this new music, I can't get into at
No,
all.
right.
And you try to find something different. Like I listen to sports podcasts or sports shows and stuff like that on the radio. I rarely even listen to music anymore. Every once in a while, if I get into that, like if I'm driving on my job and I have to get stuff done, straight up music. You know what I mean? But other than that, like I'm just driving to work or something, it's a podcast or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I would have never pictured myself doing that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Same.
Ever. Just sitting there, oh, let me listen to this. Oh, I'm listening to people talking. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Now, it's about something,
Yeah.
but I mean, I just never expected to be like, I'm interested in this. You know what I mean?
Reminds me of like the 20s, well, 1920s, when people were listening to not music on the radio, but people tell stories over the radios.
Yeah, well, see, back then, there was nothing you could do.
Right.
You
And
know?
now it feels the same.
Well,
Now there's a lot of options,
Yeah.
but it's like we're not going back in time, obviously, but
Yeah.
there's that option to
Oh, yeah.
listen to people tell a story on the radio
Oh, yeah.
instead of music.
Oh, I totally understand that. Totally understand that. It's all changed completely. I don't know why. It's just changed. I think it's the new generation, different people, how things are.
Hmm.
So I mean, I guess that's a good thing. Could be a bad thing. It's hard to say. But, we're part of that generation now.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, I guess. So, but anyway, so speaking of podcasts, I am so thrilled and so ecstatic. We finally got one review.
We are officially on the market.
We are officially
On the board.
on the board, the radar, the area code, whatever you want to call it. And want to appreciate that more than anything. We'd love to hear, ratings and stuff like that. I mean, even if it's a 1-star, I'm cool with it. At the end of the day, it was a 5-star, which we appreciate very much. And yes, we are knowledgeable about certain things. We are a little bit smart here and there once in a while whenever we decide to be. But overall, I gotta say, like, I'm proud of it.
Mhm.
There's nothing to be
Yeah.
ashamed of. Just one, comment. Some people take it to the next level and be like, oh, well, you don't even have one comment. That's more than 0. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At least we had one person listen, even though we know we see how many listeners we have on each episode, but we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we get we've had 1 or 2 comments of like, you're my favorite podcast. Well, okay, thank you. We appreciate that. But we definitely want to hear, if there's something that caught your ears or caught your, attention one time and it was like, wow, like they knew this, or, I'm glad they talked about this or this and that. Like, there's so much we're going to talk about. I mean, if you want to get down to it, if we go for 5 years and we do 52 episodes per year, that's going to put us at 260 episodes, which I'm pretty sure we'll do more than that. But, we're at number 10. We got 240 episodes left to go. But we're not going to stop after that. If we're still going, and I feel if something happens to one of us, then I want the other one to keep moving it. Keep doing with it. They can replace me. I don't care. I'm replaceable.
I,
I mean,
so am I.
I mean, you're really replaceable. I just get somebody say,
That's a lot of these
see,
kids know how to do computers.
see,
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 see, senor.
see, see. Do you think you agree? See, what I mean? I can just get someone to say that. That's all they have to say. I'll just run with it, see what happens. But I mean, overall, I mean, we're really thrilled about that. We do have merch. We are going to send a picture on our Instagram of the shirt that was made. See what you guys think. Like to hear if you like it, love it, don't like it, think you can do better, blah blah blah. I'm fine with that. They'll be on our Instagram and Facebook page. We're all over on the podcast world now. I can't think of any podcast publisher we don't go on now.
No, yeah, we're on Apple, Spotify, a bunch of other sites, Stitcher. I mean, we're even on Amazon.
Yes.
Just tell Alexa, play Real Talk Eastern Shore.
Yeah, you hear that? Like we actually got to see Amazon say our name. That's pretty impressive. You can't get no better than that. You know what I mean? Because Amazon's where all the money, it seems like, to goes because all you guys love Amazon. I'm not a fan of it, just like I'm not a fan of Wally World. But at the end of the day, that's where you get everything anymore because all the mom and pop shops are closing. And if you go to a mom and pop shop, unfortunately, a lot of times they're more expensive than Amazon. But if you need it right then, it's a good fix there. But overall, by the way, the shirts were made by Cassie's Hobbies. You can plug on Facebook. She has a Facebook page. We do appreciate you doing our shirts. I mean, great ups for them. I think they came out well. And you can scan the back of the shirt as well. It has a QR code on it. What is that like? Was it back by the neck? Would you say almost by the neck?
Yeah.
So like I mean, they're pure white, of course. You know what I mean? That way I can have a wet T-shirt contest with me.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to see that.
man, let me tell you something. All my boys, all my beautiful skin brings everyone to the yard. Plain and simple. Let's put it that way. I was about to say that one song and it just threw me off. But overall, like I said, we're all over the place. Next weekend, I think that we're going to take that ride. We will be probably in Greensboro, Maryland. We're going to check out, I believe it's DJ Big Chris and DJ Rock, I believe their names are. Let me not quote that on. Well, let me say that. But overall, we're supposed to go. There's a Halloween party there, and I think we want to go to the Halloween party and dress up as podcasters. That's where we're at with it. You know what I mean? I mean, sounds right, right?
Sounds right.
I mean,
and I'll have to change my clothes then.
well, I mean, I got to do something. I mean, I just don't think that I look good enough to be a podcaster. Well, actually, I do have a face for podcasting. I do. You know what I mean? Because it's best hidden. It's
Friday.
Yes, next Friday night at Roadhouse 313. That's on Greensboro Road. From Denton, you got to go north. If you're from Greensboro, it's south, going towards Denton. Go out there to have a Halloween bash. That's from 9 to 1:30, Friday, October 2nd. Is that no 28th? I don't know where I got second. Oh, the 8th looked all messed up. That's why. Boo, brews, and booze. Oh, booze, man, you got a lot of bees in there.
You ever think we'd plug Sheldon's?
No, I never thought I would. But you know what? Things change.
Things change.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Things happen. And you make sure that when things happen, you do what you do. So I mean, we definitely going to go out there. We just don't know when we'll show up, and when we show up, we'll definitely make ourselves, presentable, and we will definitely let everyone know we're there one way or another. And we might do it there.
Do a podcast there?
Yeah. We might just do a mobile podcast. You know what I mean? Just ask questions, like whatever question comes up to our mind. Hey, what brings you out here tonight? Oh, I want to see Big Chris. So I'm like, he's not big no more. He's got down a lot of weight. What is
I
his
want to
name
see
now?
Medium Chris.
So there you go. I mean, we can do stuff like that. So I mean, that's definitely a plug.
The Honda Rican porn star.
Back in the time, if you remember correctly, he was the Honda Rican Nightmare. Honduran comes from he is from Honduras. He's Honduras and Puerto Rican. So just so you guys know that it's not a made up name. That is why he is called that. That's his nationality. So you don't go, oh well, they're trying to be racist or something. No, we're just saying what he said. That's who he is. It is what it is. Love my boy to death. Miss him. I miss all my Caroline Countyans. Is that what you call them? Caroline
It's
Countyans?
good enough.
No, I think it sounds good though, don't you? Caroline Countyans. You know what I mean? I mean, it fits, don't it?
Sure.
I mean, it's like a shoe, right? Right? I mean, if it fits, wear it, right? I mean, am I wrong? I mean, okay, maybe I am. But, overall, we'll go out there, we'll have fun. Even if we don't do the podcast there, I'm pretty sure we'll get some snippets here and there, and we'll put it in together, and that'll be fun. See if anybody wants to talk. If they don't want to talk, that's so be it. We're not going to sit there and be mad about it because, I mean, it takes a lot to be behind a mic, even in this or being a DJ. You have to have, some, I guess you say, fortitude. You know what I mean? And be able to talk. Because if not, like, it don't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See.
Yeah, that's why you didn't much talk on the mic either.
See.
Yeah, see. Yeah, exactly. Which you can get away with that. I can't. You can. I can't. Because, technically, I'm the white bread. So it is what it is. But, I mean, is there anything else you want to speak about or anything you can think of? Or,
No, just make sure to check us out on Facebook, Real Talk Eastern Shore Podcast. Same for Instagram and same for YouTube.
I think we're going to start being more proactive on the Instagram and more proactive on the Facebook. And we'll see what happens. In about a month's time, we're going to have, Thanksgiving comes up. I think we definitely need ideas. I do like the idea in my head, which usually when it goes in my head, it don't go well. It sounds good when it gets in there, but when it comes out, it don't sound right. Like, I really feel like we should have a turkey in front of us, sitting there with mashed potatoes, and we eat and have 3 shots of Patron.
But you don't drink. This could end badly.
Why don't we find out?
Next
There
month
you go. Exactly.
on Real Talk Eastern Shore.
Yes, like that's what I'm thinking, man. Like that would be pretty cool. Like you can't tell you want to enjoy turkey and mashed potatoes, doing and having a turn and celebrating whatever you want to call it, Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, I giving, you're giving, somebody's giving. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it. Because some people get butthurt over stuff. I'm cool, whatever. I just think like, the holidays we need to enjoy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do something different, just not, blah, 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 blah. More like, that turkey's good. You know what I mean? Like, that was a hit. Maybe we'll have to spend like $2,000 on a turkey and go from there. You
And
know
we'll,
what I mean?
we'll just eat while we're talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
Yeah.
we'll talk about maybe like the holiday, and we'll talk about maybe like things that we're thankful for Thanksgiving, and talk about Christmas as in how commercialized it is, and
Oh,
it's all
yeah,
about
definitely.
giving money and all. Christmas could be fun. That could be a 4-hour conversation. I'm pretty sure 100%. So we're gonna have to cut in like thirds or something. But that's fine. But we gotta do it before Christmas. But no. But I mean, overall, like I think that's what we should do. I mean, I thought about Halloween. I thought going out to the bar when Big Chris kind of gave that invite would be something different, and it'd be something that sparks off Halloween, and we definitely would have to do it in a different manner than we ever done anything. It'll be out of our element and comfort zone. I think we start before we even get there. Start it and go. We might even just put it live on YouTube. You know what I mean? Have cameras. We still need to get the camera going.
We probably can't put it live on YouTube because we would have to get permission of everybody that is even viewed, even by accident.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you
we'll
know what I
figure
mean?
it out.
But like I'm gonna say, man, I always do. It is what it would. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. And if you don't have haters, you ain't living life right.
So from us here at Real Talk Eastern Shore, have a good evening.
And definitely have a sweet ass night.